Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about what happens once the ACIP approves a vaccine recommendation. Typically, very shortly thereafter, if the vaccine is for children, there will be a second vote called the VFC resolution vote. VFC stands for Vaccines for Children, and it's a program that offers free vaccinations for qualified children throughout the country. Typically, this vote passes because if a vaccine is approved for children who have private insurance or whose parents could afford to pay out of pocket, it would be unethical to not include it in the VFC program so that all children can get protection from the vaccine recommendation. After these two votes, the next step on the ladder, if you will, is that the CDC director needs to determine whether they're going to approve the recommendation and make it official. While the director can diverge from the ACIP's recommendations at this point, most often they approve them as the ACIP recommended. One example where the CDC director went beyond what the ACIP recommendation was in 2003. At that time, there were concerns about a bioterrorism event related to smallpox. And so the ACIP was recommending who should get smallpox vaccination in advance of any kind of bioterroristic threat. They were concerned about a side effect called myocarditis, and so they limited who should get the vaccine at a time when there was no smallpox virus occurring anywhere in the world. But the CDC director decided to expand on who could get that vaccine in advance of any kind of threat. After the CDC director makes their recommendation, the recommendation becomes official and the vaccine could be given. But typically there's a delay, and the delay occurs for a few reasons. First, healthcare providers need to stock the vaccine, especially if it's a new vaccine, they likely don't have it in stock. They also need to learn about the recommendation and train their staff and add it to their workflow. Second, the CDC cannot negotiate vaccine pricing for the VFC program until the VFC resolution passes. So this doesn't happen until after the meeting when the recommendation occurs. And then third, typically the recommendation is published, most often in a CDC journal called Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report, or MMWR, but it can be in another publication as well. And this publication is useful because it offers the nuance that is important for implementing the recommendation in clinical practice. So while a vaccine can be given shortly after the CDC director makes it official, most often you won't see it be given until later in time. Thanks for listening.